You think that is a red flag?
Yes, I think it's a sign of a jump off.
I truly don't believe condom sex really counts. I think that...
What? All right. We got a new background. We got a new thing going. This is
Special edition
of 2 Shades of Black International.
Yes,
and
sir.
we're in London right now.
Yeah? London, yeah?
Yeah, but it's kind of gloomy outside, and we decided to do this. But we got another episode in London as well, so make sure y'all stay tuned for that too. Either way, our topics today is condoms, body counts, and all of the above. So make sure y'all stay tuned, because he don't know what he talking about. He got double standards and contradicting himself. And
you put yourself on a pedestal when you over here, you need to be on a stump stool.
Whatever. Either way, we getting into it.
So you're saying to you, if a girl has a condom, you think that is a red flag because she just wants to practice safe sex?
I think it's a sign, and it might... Yes, I think it's a sign of a jump off.
Really?
Yeah.
So if you think that's a sign of a jump off, are you a jump off because you have condoms in your drawer even though you just be chilling?
There's a different... Okay, so
now we're...
hold on. I guess this might be me having 2 different topics in one. Are we talking about the female having a condom in her drawer or having a condom in her purse?
See, you weren't listening from the first part.
If we were talking about the drawer...
I said drawer. I said...
Okay, because before we started...
We were. And I said, hey, let's just talk about the drawer, not the purse.
Purse was still in my head. So if it's in her drawer, no. No, I don't think she's a jump off. It can be in a number of things. Because the simple fact is, she could have found somebody very attractive and she was dating, and it's just there for her protection. Now, if a chick has condoms in her purse, to me, that is signs of a jump off.
Would that be the same for a man that keeps a condom in his wallet?
You're an idiot if you keep a condom in your wallet.
All the time.
And you know how unsafe and not unsanitary, but the fact that if it's in your wallet, it ages as well as it breaks easier because it's in your wallet. And who's 15 still?
Dudes do it.
Well, okay. It may be a double standard part of it. But
sounds like.
No, I don't think it's hard to explain. So I look at it as this. If you're a construction worker or if you're a plumber,
sure,
are you not expected to bring your tools to the job?
Of course you're expected to bring them
All
to
right.
the job.
So if I'm the guy, it's not like I'm putting a dental dam on her vagina. Am I supposed to carry around a dental dam or everything or birth control around for her? No, that's her responsibility in this transaction. So same as if I have a condom. If I'm going to bring the condom, I need to bring the condom because that's part of my tool. It's going on my tool.
I don't think I think it's a shared responsibility nonetheless.
It is a shared responsibility, but I just feel like maybe it's my ignorance or whatever the case may be.
It is.
For a female to have it, it signifies to me that she's expecting it.
In her purse.
Now I'm saying if she's single. Now, if she has it in her purse, she got an old dude, whatever the case may be, then it is what it is. She's already expecting to be with her man. So she's coming prepared. Is it me judging her? Some ways or another, it depends on the circumstances. If it's a girl who's going to the club and she's single and she's ready to mingle and she got a rubber, her intentions are known. Same way that a guy's intentions are known.
Is it though? Is it a woman's intentions to do it or just a precautionary reason? Do you carry a condom on deck or do you okay, so what I'm saying here is if we go out, like last night, right? Mm-hmm. I don't know what you got in your pocket, but no. I would assume that you would do precautionary things to make sure you have protection. So you're either going to stop at a store before you take the girl home, or you are already having the condoms and you take one out of your drawer and put it in your wallet just in case you get lucky for that night. Condom's not going to go bad in 4 hours.
No, so, but I'm not...
Let me finish.
Okay, go ahead.
So what I'm saying is, if a woman knows they're going to go out, they don't know what the night may bring, or if they're going to meet somebody like yourself, I don't know if I want to hook up with him, but I'm gonna let the night take control. But if I do, and he doesn't have a condom, let me be prepared. Do you still look at her?
I'm
as
very
a
curious how many women think like that, because
I mean, we can definitely put a poll out there.
We could definitely do a poll,
but I can't sit here and say someone's a jump off,
because I don't know many women that actually carries condoms in their purse.
And that was
not a jump off.
That was the conversation prior, which I'm not against what you're saying. But if you go back to her crib and she has protection,
no,
I don't think that's a jump off. I think it's just like, okay, better safe than sorry.
Yeah, I don't think she's a jump off if it's at her crib and it stayed at her crib. But once it leaves her crib and she's out in these streets and she's carrying around a condom.
But what if she goes back to your place and not sure if you have one?
Then she knew this is where it was going to end up.
But
same way as the guy.
Willing? But I mean, you don't know. You just assume.
No, because it's not that an assumption. Because if you're taking the effort to get a condom and put it in your bag, in which if it happens, it's there.
Yeah.
Then it's banking on if it happens, which means you know something in your head has told you that this is more than likely going to happen because you've now prepared yourself for it.
What if you're just preparing yourself? Like, why can't you just be like a precautionary type of person, male or female?
No.
So now you're just taking that out of context.
It's not. I don't think it's taking it out of context. I think it's just more of in the mindset of like, okay, if you're always prepared, you never got to get ready, whatever the case may be. That is true.
Yes, that's my point.
But to me, it's not the same if I know that circumstance is going to come up. The only reason to be ready is because you already expect that circumstance to happen. So there's no point to get ready for it because you're expecting the circumstance to happen. It's no longer precaution. Precaution is, to me, okay, if I know I'm going to go into a lion's den, precaution is, well, make sure I'm not wearing raw meat or I've done these certain steps because I know I'm going to do it. Because I know what I'm going about to do, I'm going to need to be cautious of it. So let me prepare myself. In my head, if a female is putting a condom in her purse, then it may not happen. Yes, you're right. She may go to the club or the bar and it was just a pure failure. But it could also turn around and be like, she's on the hunt. Same way for a guy. I'm being precautious. But if I got a condom in my pocket, you goddamn right, I'm coming out to fuck something.
You have a condom in your pocket last night?
No, I didn't. I done grown out of that. But we're also in a whole different ball game. I'd rather stop at the convenience store and get the things that I need, like Gatorade.
2 honey packs.
hey, a goat pill. Shit, some Funyuns, a box of cigarettes. I don't know. Shit, you never know what you're gonna need after post-coitus. But at the end of the day, I mean, at my age, it's not like I'm 16, 15, where I gotta keep it in my wallet because I gotta do it in the back of my car or I gotta do it in such and such place. At my age, I don't need to carry it around because unless I'm out of town and I know I got to go back to a hotel, then it's already planned. Like, all right, if I get back to my hotel, I got rubbers here. How often is a motherfucker nowadays in 2025 smashing outside of their home? Hold on. Outside of their home that they still wearing rubbers?
Cheating married men.
But that's planned.
But there's still... What I'm simply stating...
But no, before you jump...
Go ahead.
But that's what I'm asking. It's like, if you're having the spontaneous fuck session in the alley or in a car or wherever the case may be, 9 times out of 10, I'm not like, oh, let me get the rubber out of my, let me put it on my dick. Oh, no. It's pure as it comes of raw animal instincts.
Yeah, it's going to be a raw sex. It sounds
exactly what it is. Because at that point, you're in public. You're basically like, I don't give a damn.
But that's basically saying that people, which happens. I mean, you have unprotected sex in sometimes when you're just making bad decisions when you're drunk or high or whatever people do. But that doesn't change the fact that if somebody is just like, all right, I don't know what might happen, but I don't know what I might do. So if I made a bad decision in the past, or if I made this decision, let me take a chance and
That's
bring that.
precaution.
That is precaution. That's my point.
Because you've been in the situation.
But it doesn't. So if you've been in a situation, you can't. You're basically saying this female's a jump off because she's been in a situation like.
I'm holding both accounts. Don't say. I'm not saying it was, but I'm just both sides.
So you're not. So then what you're saying is, so now you're saying that it's not just a female being a jump off. Both people, so both sex have to hold accountability from them just saying fuck it. We're gonna fuck tonight, but let me make sure I'm still protecting myself.
Exactly. And that's what I'm saying. If you're getting condoms and you're going out with condoms, then the book it's been written. You're basically saying you're trying to fuck that night. Is she a jump off? Okay, she's promiscuous, and
because she has a condom in her purse.
If you're not in a relationship and you don't have a fuck friend that you're going out to meet, then you're meeting a stranger for a potential one night stand. And if that is what's on your mind to go out and be prepared for, then absolutely. That's exactly what I'm thinking, because it's the same way if it was a guy. If he was going out and he ain't gonna, okay, you turn around and you use literally for the streets.
Okay.
Use for the streets. Because, look, there's different types of women out there. And I don't want to say that I'm judging or I'm saying they're beneath anybody else, because, hell, those are my type of women. If I find that you got a rubber in your damn purse, you best to believe I'm over here like, okay, you better not let me see a glimpse of a gold pack. Then my whole attitude changed. It's already something that tells me you're looking for it. I'm not saying I'm going against your will, but I'm saying it's telling me that if it comes up, you're not denying it. If we're both on the same page, it's all system go.
Hold on. If someone hooks up with you and it's unprotected, are they a jump off to you still? Because are they living in the moment? Could it be just like, man, I'm just having a great night with this guy. I'm not
raw dogging on the first night.
Are you sure?
I'm 100%.
Okay, so you're talking about one person as a man, which is great. As a man that can still think with his conscience, hey, I know not to go in this girl raw no matter how fucking bad she is. We're vibing all night, not even thinking about the moment. We just have raw, unprotected sex, first night. So you don't think that she's a jump off, or do you think that?
Okay. I don't think she respects herself.
Wow. You don't think people can just live in a moment?
No.
You think you don't respect yourself if you have unprotected sex on the first night with a stranger?
Absolutely not.
Why?
Because in this day and age, people aren't checking tests. People aren't forthcoming with what they may have. Some people don't even know that they have shit, and they just not telling. So I'm not going to be. You don't care for yourself if you're putting yourself in jeopardy in that manner with a person you don't even know. You don't even know if you got the right name of the person that you're about to have. You're about to go have relations with, where bodily fluids is being exchanged. I got rules to the game on a one night stand.
Okay, what are the rules? My
rules are, we're not kissing. I don't kiss people on the first date. Especially on the first night I meet them. I don't know if you was sucking dick in the club. In the car before you came in the club.
I've definitely seen some.
Thank you.
I've definitely seen some. I know some that done that in the bathroom in the club and came right back out. Making out with another dude.
Nah, man, I got rules. If I ain't see you brush your teeth, no. I got rules to it. I'm not eating pussy. Hell no, not on the first date.
But they can suck the dick on the first date.
No, I don't get hit on the first date. On the first.
Your first interaction with somebody is literally strictly
I will DJ. Don't worry about it. I get me up and then go for it. And then after that, if we continue to have fun, we'll have a conversation. We'll have a conversation of what things look like. Because if you want me to give head, eat ass, all that, we getting tested.
Okay.
We getting tested. Because I can have a rubber on. Yeah, am I still playing with the devil at that point? Yeah, a rubber can break.
Not only can it break, but there's other things that you can catch.
Absolutely. But I look at it as, I'm not going to single-handedly go diving in. Look, you got people who can't control their feelings once they get to it. You got a female back at the house, and you got her there butt naked, and you both ain't got you ain't got no damn rubber. Shit. I've been in this situation. I had to improvise. Saran wrap and a rubber band.
You clearly just said it.
Shit. Sometimes you gotta improvise. Is it the best method? Absolutely not. But the point of the matter is, I respect myself at least enough to not just go raw dog in someone I don't even know if they got siblings, let alone if they got a roommate, let alone what's their religious faith. Okay. So yeah, I do judge individuals that go in raw dog on a one night stand.
Do you judge individuals that do it at our age now, or you judge them no matter what? Like as
There's no
consenting
excuse.
adults. As a consenting adult.
There's no excuse.
You don't think it's just ignorance? You don't think people just have ignorance?
In today's world, there's too much avenues to gain information to play the ignorance card. You have seen too many things in the news.
Damn.
To play the ignorance card.
Okay. I respect that view. I respect that view completely.
Unless you came from another country and they do things completely different, but that also tells me, if you look at like certain countries, one night stand is not a thing in their culture. There's other countries where one night stands is like strictly like prohibited, and as a kid, and you don't never consider it. Because it's like, how are you going to give your body up to someone that you don't even know? I'm not saying you can't have a one night stand. I'm just saying, look, if you're going to raw dog somebody on the first night and all you know is their Twitter handle or their Instagram handle and a first name, what do you really know about this individual? And if it's so good, why can't it just wait till the next day when you got time to actually have a conversation and prepare yourself? A true man is a man who can hold himself from giving into temptation.
So clearly, for you, there's no excuse. Making bad decisions with alcohol doesn't apply in your realm when it comes to your body in regards to hooking up with a stranger.
When it comes to alcohol, and that depends on the scenario. You can be in a situation where it's like, okay, alcohol lowers your inhibition to think properly like most people, and you're going off of pure instincts of, okay, I want sex.
So, side note, I was just messaging Marilyn about this situation, about the condom thing, right? And she was saying that she would have had a condom if she just got tested. Would you still judge somebody not knowing that they just got tested? Because I remember when I was younger and I got tested, they would give you condoms.
Yes.
So if you left a condom in your pocket, are you still on that mindset that this person is a jump off? Because that makes a good point right there. Because I've definitely had times where I've had either a condom in my car or I've had a condom in my wallet after they've given me the protection from my testing. And the girl's like, oh shit, I didn't know. Like, what if they're like, you got a condom? I don't know. And then they have it.
So here's the thing. When you go to those clinics, they don't just give you one condom.
They give you a few. They give you a few. Yeah.
So
if they have
for me, if they have a few condoms in their purse, then there's a reason behind it.
Because they went and got tested, or someone gave them, or they went to some.
It would be a conversation starter.
Correct.
Because I'm not gonna assume.
So you won't assume. So,
I won't assume.
You're saying you would assume.
But there's a difference between having one and having 5 to 10.
Okay. So you're saying you have an intent on having one, but having multiple is not an intent at all?
Having multiple draws a question.
Maybe they're just like, hey, you and your guys, let's go.
And you know. And then that rests my case. Jump off. But no. She prepared for the whole streets. But no, what I'm saying in this situation, and I guess I can only say it for how my brain works. When it comes down to it, if there's like 5 to 10 condoms since she just came from being tested, then it's going to be a conversation starter. If I see it and she acknowledges that I see it. Yo, what you got on rubbers for?
That makes sense.
Because you got 5 to 10. But if there is one, you basically made the conscious decision to place that one in there. That's hey, call me stupid, call me ignorant, call me whatever the case may be. That's my mindset to it. I'll applaud someone. I'll say this. I'll applaud her that she's protecting herself.
So you'll applaud them, but you still gonna look at them differently.
I'm just gonna look at them. When I say she's a jump off, I'm not saying like you're a disgusting human being. You're a peasant. You're doing it. No. When I say you're a jump off, you're promiscuous, and that's fine with you. I'm promiscuous. I'm a whore. Hell, I've been paid for it.
You've been paid for sex?
Yes. If you really think about it, we all pay for sex. You got to wine and dine them. You got to take them out to dinner, gas to get to her. All of this gentleman things that we do in the name of it.
I don't think always.
Look, at the end of the day, there is a dime being spent, whether it's through gas, dinner, drinks, whatever the case may be. You have some individuals that just show up to the house to get it. You still pay gas to get there, even if she was across the hall.
What if they're just in the right place at the right time?
What, in front of everybody?
No, what I'm saying is, if you have no intentions on hooking up with someone and you end up hooking up with them, did you actually spend money on them or just spent money at the club?
To put you in that situation?
But that's not spending money on the bitch.
Okay, I can agree to that.
I think that everything in the world costs money nonetheless.
Exactly.
But I don't think that, I mean, I can't speak for everyone, but I know myself, there's times where, like, yeah, you make a point where you take someone out to dinner and you have a couple drinks and whatnot, you want to dine them, and, hopefully you hope you could get lucky. But, I mean, I could sit there and say where I haven't came out of pocket on anything with the person that I've, hooked up with. Like, at all. If anything, more money was put in my pocket.
Is it because they paid for everything?
Yeah, but it ain't me losing money. But, but I'm simply stating is, I can sit here and say that I have been fortunate enough that I've been, I'm like the type of person that if I had any type of one night stands or something where I end up being, hooking up with somebody, it was honestly, it just fell in the lap.
And I get that. I mean, college for me, after football games, tailgating, those are situations in which
legit
quickies happen.
I remember just walking on the first day of campus on that Friday, and these girls just came up to me like, "Oh my God, you're so hot," and I'm just like,
"Oh, is that what they said?"
Literally.
Is that what they said?
Yeah. Oh my God, you're so hot. Where are you going? Can we go with you? And then the one day asking to kiss me on the cheek. So I was like, I thought I was Jesus Shuttlesworth for a quick second. I didn't know how to act. But, I mean, all jokes aside, though, that is a true story. It is really one of those things that sometimes things just fall in your lap. I remember, going to the bar with my boy, and I actually remember being there with this girl that liked me, and her friend ended up dancing on me the whole night, and I ended up hooking up with her, and the other girl had intentions of being with me, but I wasn't intentionally trying to have sex. It was never an intention. It just fell in my lap, and all I did was and granted at this time it was 25-cent wells to get right. You go in there with $1 and you was good.
Well, you good.
You know what I mean?
Hey,
So,
for those who's in Tallahassee, they'll already know the castle. The castle, and they what was it, $1 beer? Or it was Sundays 50-cent beers. Yeah, and there was a reason why that was the leading place where everybody got STDs. But I don't know. At the end of the day, we're all consenting adults. Everybody has their levels, their boundaries, what they expectations they've set for themselves when they go into these situations. So, am I a person who has ignorance to certain parts of it? Yeah, I was raised a certain way. Do I follow the way that everybody? No, not really. But if we don't have our rules and boundaries, aren't we just cavemen at the end of the day?
I think there's rules and boundaries in what you believe in. As you stated the other day, you used a phrase that was, for your relationships, moving the goalposts. And I think that in this day and age also applies to a lot of different things in what we do. And it's all about what you're willing to deal with. Are you willing to deal, are you someone who deals with a person's sexual history, or does that bother?
I don't care about her sexual history as long as I'm not in the town that her sexual history went on a sexual capade.
But that is something that you care about compared to someone who may just be like, whatever, it's before me.
I think those individuals don't have a masculine bone in their body.
That's an opinion still.
It is definitely my opinion.
But I don't think that demasculates somebody. I think that's what they believe in or what they settle for.
And you're absolutely settle for is a great example.
And yeah.
Am I gonna talk down on those individual men that feel that type of way? Absolutely not. They are who they are, and if you feel like you need to settle down for what you can get, everybody deserves love. I'm gonna say that. Everybody deserves love. I myself can't be that guy who's going to sit here and wine and dine, kiss in the mouth, do all of these things to a woman that has been around. If I walk into a room, and we've talked about this in the past.
We have.
If I walk into a room and 8 out of the 10 mother suckers in that room done been with my girl, and now I'm over here kissing her in the mouth and holding hands, yeah, I can't feel like, I can't, I'm the type of person who feel like I have to command respect when I walk into a room.
I feel that.
There's some level of respect in the way that I carry myself with confidence. I will be looking like Boo Boo the Fool if every man has their chest out because they done been with the same woman I've been with. You become my potential wife, what can I say to you that says, what have you done for me to make me feel special as your husband that you haven't done with other men?
Okay. Cooking in the UK a little bit right there.
We throwing seasoning in there because the UK don't have no seasoning.
None at all.
But I have to feel like I'm special. Because if I marry you, then I obviously believe that you're the one for me. Because to me, where I sit right now, and this is just as honest and blatant as I can say it, if I put a ring on your finger, you are my forever. Because of how my brain works. We've already talked to this in the past. If I've gotten to a point where I say I want to marry you and I also want to, we can have a child together, I have crossed all my boxes off before I can make those decisions. The last 2 boxes on my list are always marriage and family. Why? Because without the boxes before it, my marriage and family cannot be stable. So now, if I'm married to this woman and she cannot say, I don't know if it's old school, maybe I just don't need to know. So let me be ignorant, but you better tell me we can't live in this town. I ain't gonna ask no questions. Just be like, look, it's better off we live in Montana.
Would you feel the same way if they did that with you?
Absolutely.
Like you would be like, hey baby, I've been getting around, you know.
I think as an adult,
they call me the Tallahassee headache, so we gotta get out of here.
Here's what I would say. There comes a time in any relationship, no matter what it is, that you have to have somewhat of a conversation.
Some type of history lesson.
Exactly. You need to understand someone's history.
Facts.
Because it's deemed to repeat in the future if you don't know what to expect.
History repeats itself if you don't learn from it.
So, if it is indeed, and this is going beyond you getting into a deep relationship. I'm like, you have this conversation within 3 months.
You should.
With 2 months.
Yeah.
It's not a first 3-date conversation, but
you
know when you're in a relationship and it's leading to somewhere serious.
You want to get the good, the bad, the ugly.
You need to understand because now we both are going to need to be put in positions where we have to make a decision.
Yeah.
Whether we're going to take it and say, I can live with this.
Yeah.
Or say, no, this is going to be a hard stop for me. If you don't give me that opportunity to make my own decision, and it is me learning that later, we're broken.
You're broken up or broken?
There is going to be a foundational quake in our relationship. I don't know what this quake would... If it's division, think of an earthquake. You can have an earthquake that is a 4.5 magnet on the Richter scale. Nothing, the room just shakes, but everything is all right. Or you can find out that history is a 7-8 on the Richter scale, and the ground split, houses were destroyed, and it's irreparable. You can't fix it.
That's fair.
I'd rather have that conversation early so I know what I'm dealing with.
Yeah.
So that if there is a shock that comes, it's a 4, it's a 3, and I can survive that.
Yeah.
I can't survive if I don't know anything of your history, and it's an 8.
So let me ask you this then, and I think as men, we definitely have that feeling. Why do you think women don't care about history as much as we care about their history.
I think women low-key care about history.
But it doesn't affect them the way it affects us.
Because
like
in the
whatever.
world of women, with men, it's already an assumption.
What y'all think, ladies?
I guess you would have to let us know, ladies. Is it important to understand a man's history? Whether it's sexually, the history of dating. I think at this point, when you get to an older age, at a younger age, it may be important. Because you haven't lived life.
Yeah, what are you doing? You're just some little kid, like, sticking your dick in a hole.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that tells you decision-making skills.
Yeah, I agree. At
a young age. But when you get to an older age, there's some wear and tear on these damn tires.
You say you got some...
You ain't coming out unless you lived in a hole somewhere or in a small remote village or you're part of a culture that you're very religious where you wait until marriage. But if you get into your 30s and you don't have wear and tear on your car, and I don't mean like wear and tear where you're a 1992 Chevy Capri Bubble.
Yeah.
Not everybody has to be around the block, but everybody's perception of your used car sounds diabolical. But it's just saying you may be certified pre-owned. You can be certified pre-owned, one owner, or you can turn around and be a 1992 Chevy Capri Bubble that had a few owners and it's still on the original tires, bald. But what I'm saying is this, and I'm not comparing women to cars, of course.
So go back to the answer then. Why do women have less of a question about our history than we do?
I believe women in general has come to believe that men in general
are just dogs.
Dogs.
Okay.
And now it's like, am I picking the least
which
of the
dog? Yeah, which
especially at our age, because
okay.
It's like I'm expecting you to have had a history.
Okay.
And you got to also, people might not look at it depending on what side of the aisle you look at. If you're looking at a feminist or however you look at it, but as a man, we were created to sow our oats.
Is that right?
If you think about it, how we were designed as human, not biblical, humans.
Okay.
There's a reason why a woman can only be pregnant one time throughout a time period of 9 months. She can only be pregnant for a certain period of time. And on top of that, with age, you can no longer procreate. Women's bodies, and this is my mentality, women's bodies are completely different than men. That's why men can make kids all the way up to their 70. Their sperm is still kicking. It may not be swimming like Michael Phelps, but damn it, they swimming. They can get to their destination. So, for me, I look at it as women just almost expected as men that... They're dogs. I'm not gonna say dogs, but it's understandable if we're promiscuous.
Dogs. That's what it is. It's not, but it's not understandable. Like we suck. Like, it's just
I don't think we suck. I think that's a lot to unfold.
Come on, bro.
No.
Now we're doing like
no. I can't. No. Here's why I say it. I have dog tendencies.
Clearly.
But I don't believe that I'm a dog.
We're not talking about you, though.
I know, but I can only speak. I'm my own world. I can only know my own world.
I know when you get in your own world.
But what I'm saying is this. I don't believe all men are dogs. I believe that
they're not.
As men, we have our walk of lives, which has led us down certain paths.
Yeah.
That has generalized us to be certain things, or the stereotypical of damaged women who have not fixed and healed themselves now look at us in a certain way.
You sound like you just blame the woman for not fixing
themselves. I'm not. No. Men are the same way. I just said men who go through certain things and don't fix themselves either. As far as men, it's both sides. Okay. We all have our troubles that we go through and don't get fixed. Okay. When we are dogs, when men, there's sometimes things that are broken in us that we just don't acknowledge. That turns us into a promiscuous individual that just scours the earth as far as fuckboys, being dogs, looking at women as a warm hole, or whatever the case may be. Because it's not that we're doing what we need. No, there's something fundamentally broken within us that we just don't understand and don't acknowledge. And so when we go and find a woman, and woman has that same thing, that's how toxic relationships start. That's how when two damaged people get together and it becomes very chaotic, it's two people who's not dealing with their problems. So I can't call all men dogs. Because just like all women aren't sluts or all women aren't for the streets.
Okay. So you're basically, to wrap up your answer, you're simply stating that with women, they just already have the assumption that, men have probably already lived their, sort of raw oats.
Let's say, okay, and I want to get in, I'd love to ask, when we bring in our next guest, I want to ask them, if you found a man that is Rico Suave, smooth, looking great, put together,
Thank you.
all of that,
Appreciate you.
what would be their initial assumption of their body count? It's going to be absolutely high. They're going to believe it's high because confidence promotes, you've been without a lot of women, because that's what a lot of women would want.
That makes sense.
But now, if that man turned around and said, I've only been with 2 women in my whole life, how many of them would be shocking or just straight up say, I don't believe it?
Like he's lying. Like, you gotta have more bodies than that. But isn't that just what society is making you believe?
Is that not the generalization and stereotypical thoughts of men? That if a man is confident, that a man is well dressed, doing all this, that women flock to him, in which his body count will be higher?
Just like a woman having condoms in her purse?
We call him a spade.
I'm just saying that.
But I didn't say I was going to be always right. But that would be my assumption.
As long as we know that you don't think that you're always right about that.
Absolutely. It's my assumption.
Sure. I just wanted to make sure.
I'm going to be right more times than none. Because I have been around different cultures, different types of women. Have I ever seen... I can't even tell you the last time I saw a condom in a woman's purse.
I mean, what are you doing in women's purses? You little theme?
Yeah, I got to go through. It's when I go through their phones, see if they talking to other dudes.
Oh, you that kind of cat.
No, I'm just kidding. But my point is, and that goes into the comment. That goes into the comments. When was the last time, just out of it, when was the last time you saw a condom in a woman's purse, let alone in a woman's house?
I mean, I think the house is different. I agreed with you on that part. But the purse thing, I understand your point. I'm not against that. I think that it is someone who is wanting to protect themselves, but I also think that person is just like, hey, I want to live my life. I'm single or whatnot.
And there's nothing wrong with that.
Which is not, but I don't think that makes a person a jump off because that condom ain't being used. But what if that one? Here's what I've learned. Okay, here's what I'm saying with this. My boy put me deep to something real quick, and he told me something about this. He was like, yo, bro, check it. You can't consider every girl that you hooked up with on a one-night stand a hoe. And the reason why is because you got to think about who you're dealing with. Now, we can make assumptions all day, but let's just say, and it's the same thing on how I feel about condom sex personally. Like, my mindset about condom sex is different than a lot of other people's stuff. But what I'm simply stating is, if I go out, and we're in the same city, I go out, I hook up with the baddest chick there in the club, right? Great night, everything was cool. You go out, same chick makes you wait or doesn't let you hit the same night. What I've learned and what I've understand and what I've taken, it's not always the person, it's really, and it's not always the female, sometimes it's just that person. Either, like I said earlier, right place, right time. That you could just be lucky that person, like you said, may be going through shit. Maybe having something going down, and they're just like, fuck it, I want to live this night. This is the guy I choose. Like you said yesterday, in regards to you being charismatic, they never met a charismatic brother like you before. They enjoyed everything. When I also said to you, hey, you can't be using someone else as a punching dummy. Now you got that quip, right? That made this person, you know what? Fuck my morals tonight. I'm giving him these draws, right? That's what their mindset can be. But the other guy who don't have that charismatic spill is literally over there fumbling on his words, but she might find him attractive, but he ain't getting the draws that night. So what I'm simply stating is, I always think it is just situational, but it doesn't make someone promiscuous with it.
I see your point and what you're making in that point in that situation.
Some people just don't got enough badges, bro.
And here's how I'm going to state on this. To me, it feeds into exactly what I mean.
Into, what do you mean about what?
as far as I'm not calling her a jump. Okay, jump off is like
you definitely said jump off.
I said jump off.
You definitely.
But I feel like jump off for the individuals, because if I say jump off, it just makes it sound like
everyone gets a turn.
Well, yes, everyone gets not. When I mean jump offs, even within jump offs, are still selective. Because not all jump offs is just going to let anyone and everyone smash.
Now jump offs can be selective. I didn't know that. I thought jump off is just like, hey, if you smile at her, she's going to let you hit.
What you know, I've never met a woman is like, if you smile at her, she lets her hit. That's just a whole.
I mean, that's a phrase, but right. I'm simply stating that she's friendly.
But to me, in a jump up, woman's going to always be selective, no matter what it is. She's going to say yes or no to what she wants.
I don't know. You should see the industry I've been dealing with. But go ahead.
I'm talking about real world, sir.
Sorry, my bad. Go ahead.
Real world. Women are still going to be selective with who they sleep with.
Are they?
Yes. Because here's why. Something in their brain is calling them, making them feel attracted to that individual. It may not always be physical. It can be intellectually. It can be, kind of like the saying, if you can make her jiggle, you can make that. If you can make her giggle, you can make that ass jiggle.
Yeah, there's a lot of funny guys.
Funny dudes still get some sometimes.
Yeah.
Look at me. I get some sometimes.
I mean, you also practice on other girls for, you know.
You know what? I got to make sure I got the skills. But what I'm saying is this. It all tethers together whether or not you can look good and be very freaking awkward and get it. Yes. It could be like your 3-tier law. If you hold 2 of them, you're in the bag. If you're all 3 of them, shit, it's easy as pudding. Good looks, can hold a conversation, and can close on the deal. There's some of the suckers who look good, can have a whole conversation, and still fuck up the deal, and she's like, I'm going to give it to you anyways.
What are they called? The 3 what?
What, my 3 tiers?
Yeah, so they call them the Jordan tiers. Yeah, sounds about right. I like that. The Jordan tiers.
I'm dead. But what I'm saying is, if you hold at least 2 of them, your chances are like 90%.
I mean,
like if you can, but the thing is, if you can hold a conversation, you can look average, but if you can hold a conversation and close, you still can get it on average. So what I'm saying is, to me, as the one night stand thing that you just mentioned, the girl may give it to one guy. It all depends on the package, in my opinion, and in my world. How I look at it.
Your world.
My world might look a little different. Your world
is definitely different.
Look, I'm from Pluto. But what I'm saying is this. Depending on the combination of those 3, raises your success level of actually getting it. And that's my opinion. So if you're in the club and you're saying the same thing, that girl you smashed yesterday, and you're like, because you're Jordan, you got the 3 tiers, the good looks and all that, and it was just bread and butter. And then I come in, and it's like, I don't have the Jordan looks, but I hold the conversation and I close. But instead of the same night, I got it the following night after going out to dinner or whatnot. Is it really like, at the end of the day, you still got it without the relationship?
But that makes him a jump off to you still?
I used the wrong word when I said jump off. Because now we see the whole jump off. Because like, to me, yes, they're not a jump off. They can just be promiscuous.
Okay.
As far as the jump off goes, jump off tendencies. But at the end of the day, I look at it as...
Wait. No, let me ask you this. Same girl, I hook up with her. You have to actually court her and get to know her. Is she still a jump off?
Again, I guess it depends on the time frame.
Well, 3 weeks.
Hell no.
So she's not a jump off. So
I'm not courting someone 3 weeks just for sex.
That's not my point.
Oh.
My point is, you don't know that we're Usher and the guy.
And I guess we don't know each other.
We don't know each other. You and I don't know each other. We don't even know we're talking to the same girl. I hit her off the first night. And we can use the other way around. You hit it off the first night. She sees me and actually wants to see more about me. So instead of me hitting it the next night, because she just went out with her friends.
Her intentions changed.
Does that make her a jump off or promiscuous?
Yes. I think because...
So what is promiscuous first before you answer that?
Promiscuous to me is just someone who just enjoys sex as far as with different people without a relationship. Well, no, that's not promiscuous. Promiscuous is just someone that just enjoys sex.
So you're saying this woman is promiscuous because
with a lot of different people.
She has sex with me. Literally, it was just a good night. She enjoyed her night with me. She's single. She do whatever she wants. She hooks up with me. Even protected, yada yada. She was precautious.
Okay.
She meets you in a grocery store. You end up taking her on a date, and multiple dates. You guys hang out. You finally close the deal about 3 to 4 weeks into the conversation, into the relationship. Like, not relationship, but like just the relationship with one another. Do you consider this person promiscuous? But would you only call her promiscuous because you found out your buddy Jordan did it?
I get you when you're saying. So I wouldn't call her promiscuous in that sense.
How? Now you won't call her promiscuous?
Because the intentions are different, in my opinion.
So that proves my point.
And yes, I'm agreeing with you.
Okay,
now.
I'm just making sure.
I'm agreeing with you now.
Okay.
Now that we've laid it out differently, I'm agreeing with you. Now.
Okay. But my next
me
question,
having to wait them 3 weeks, I'm probably gonna call her a whore if I found out that you smashed the first night and then she made me wait 3 weeks.
So that makes someone a whore.
My feelings are going to be hurt.
Hey, I mean,
because I can never be that guy. No, I'm just kidding.
I feel you, but I mean, to me, dog, like when we're looking at things like that, I've gone back and forth on thoughts on those things, but I really have like come to a conclusion that it is really place and time,
and intention.
And attention. I also believe that I think you can be promiscuous and still have like a good head per se.
I would agree. Now, again, it really depends on a person. I'm not even going to say woman because I know we focused on the women's side of it because we're two guys. But even on the other side, it's like I've been in those situations where I smashed a girl on one night and then turned around the next time comes by, oh, this girl intrigues me based off the conversation. I want to see her again.
Yeah.
So I prolong sleeping with her until after dinner or after hanging out with her a couple more times because now my intentions are different. My first initial intention, because like for sometimes I've met women who are like, well, the only way that I can get like to understanding and knowing them, they have the game backwards. Oh, I'll sleep with him to get to know him, rather than get to know them than sleep with them. Some women use the sex part as a way of getting the guy in the door to build something rather than building something and then rewarding with sex.
Or letting them have it early because they want to see what it's like and see if it's not worth their time. Like if he comes out.
That intention that's a promiscuous intention.
I don't know, bro. I don't know. I kind of understand women on the same way.
It's not necessarily true because as humans, and this is a whole nother topic, because it's like as humans, I think of it as like when you have emotions involved in it, it's a completely different type of sex than when you don't have emotions and it's just pure raw of what it is.
Yay and nay. Yay and nay. I agree, and I also disagree. So here's what I was going at before you jumped in.
Of course, I always do.
That's what you do. So let me cook a little bit. let me explain the way Jordan thinks because it's really contradicting as fuck.
Yeah, he calling himself in the third person.
I have to because here's the thing. I contradict myself with some of the things that I say because I look at things differently. So what I'm about to say is like for one. I truly don't believe condom sex really counts. I think that...
What?
I think it counts as a situation, as somebody doing the act. But you hitting somebody raw is way different than hitting somebody like...
Absolutely, yes.
So,
that's not how I meant it, though.
Well, I'm talking about my contradictions. That's what I'm saying. Stop talking and let me talk. Let me speak so I can tell you. Like, you need to mute. Like, where's the tape at?
Shut your ass up.
So here's what I'm saying. That stuff like that, like some people are like, oh, a body's a body, right? To me, it's like, well, if you and I hit the same shit, you didn't feel the same shit that I felt. You just were just there. It's the same thing with your fucking bubble wrap or saran wrap bullshit that you had. You protecting the shit out of your shit. I don't know what the hell kind of time you on, but if I got to do that, I ain't coming. Period. So for me, it's like, bro, it's like, yo, you really just had to get that win. Like, you couldn't just wait, like you said. So for me, do I think, like, and yeah, women, some people, like, dudes be like, yo, that's just women trying to say that they don't, if they only had 50 bodies, now they only got 20. Well, in my mind, it's like, well, that means only 20 dudes know how she actually feels. Only 20, it's the same thing for a guy. It doesn't change the fact, it's still the act of sex, but it doesn't change the fact that, like, if we're talking in your whole mental about exchanging stuff, exchanging fluids and stuff, there's no fucking fluid exchange. It never touches you.
That's the point.
So again, how it doesn't count to me. Now, granted, can you say, yeah, we had?
Are you one of those, if you smash and you didn't nut, it doesn't count?
No, I'm one of those that if I used condom to have sex with you, I had intercourse, but I didn't have the same sensation as if I had sex with you without a condom.
So you just out here raw dogging everybody.
I didn't say that I was doing that at all. I'm simply stating, I didn't say I'm like, oh yeah, I fucked her. I'm simply stating that if I hooked up with that girl with a condom on and hooked up with that girl raw, I have a more intimate experience with that person than this person, and that's just more so just doing the deed. And now, granted, can that promiscuous framing still be applied? Yeah, sure, because that is what society presents to you. But it's kind of, to me, it's like the same thing with a girl when they were younger. Now, granted, I don't know how it was for you, but I know how it was for me up north, that a lot of girls would actually try to do anal first because they wanted to keep their virginity. Now,
sounds like some Bible thumping.
But that's my point. So what I'm simply saying now, here's where I'm coming with the contradicting. So when I'm contradicting myself is, yes, that situation's there, and we are going back and forth. We can go back and forth on that all day, but at the same time, we gotta look at these things as men and really be like, we can't look at a woman who may start acting like a dude in regards to how she lives life because she's been hurt or she has daddy issues or things like that. I think when you're making bad decisions, yeah, that plays a part. Like if you just literally just, raw dogging everyone, no testing, no like protecting yourself, I agree with you. You don't give a fuck about anyone or your damn self. Because if you and me and the neighbor down the street go hit that girl off raw and no one knows nothing, all of us don't give a damn. That is totally, especially in your 30s, that is dumb. So what I'm saying here is when we look at these things, we can't sit here and put these labels on women and hold ourselves to a standard when we're doing something totally worse. We are totally like you said from our first podcast, a passport, bro. If you going to different countries, you got a whole rack of magnums ready to go, boy. And you just you hitting the passport. Oh yeah, Miss America, Miss Ireland, Miss bro, you doing all this stuff. It's like, and then you want to have a good woman that want to treat. It's like, bro,
she ain't got to worry about it in her neighborhood. All of that's international,
and that's how you move. You're like, baby, you coming. You ain't gonna stay there because you ain't like in your village. Nah, we don't.
I just know what countries we not traveling to,
and that's smart. I mean, it is. So for me, it's like, yeah, I think there's a standard. What I've learned is we have to understand things as we get older. Like one thing you did say earlier was the mileage thing or the car, and it's like what I've understand when it comes to mileage is I've grown up and instead of being like, oh, my woman can't have more than X amount of bodies, right? It's like you can't really judge that person because when you start doing certain numbers, if somebody has a high year of like being single. And then literally half the time that they're either in a relationship or chilling, if you look at the averages, they can be averaging anywhere between like 3 to 5 bodies a year, or sometimes maybe less depending on the body count. And it's like, you could be like, if you date a 45-year-old woman and she has over 100 bodies and she has sex at like 16, do the math. If we do that, it ain't that many.
That's why I said numbers don't matter.
So, and you did say that. So what I'm saying is, but does that number make someone promiscuous to you?
No, I think it's the decisions they make and how they got to that number.
I agree with that, and I love that. So what I'm saying as men total, I think we live in this superficial world of what we want in a woman that literally hinders us from finding a woman that makes us happy.
There's a small line to that too, because it's like, I get what you're saying, but I also feel, I might contradict myself here.
Oh, come on, I'm gonna hear this.
Because like, you have these situations where certain women, like, if I'm going to be your husband, there are certain things that I want to find out that I'm your first at.
For sure. I mean, you want that. You want to feel special.
Exactly.
That's what.
But if I'm getting into a relationship and I can't cross off none of those boxes, like none of them, where I'm the first for any of them, like, what did you bring to the table for me?
Is that just a sexual attraction, though?
It's not necessarily anything that has to do with just sex. I'm just curious when it comes down to, what do I bring to this table? Like, what do you bring to me?
I think that's fair.
Like, what makes me different than all the other people you've been with? It's not necessarily sexual, but relationship-wise. What's going to keep you at my table without eating at another person's table? And this goes back to one of the other relationship conversations we had, and when Ivy was on there.
Shout out to Ivy.
And she was explaining, I was letting her know, there's sometimes I want to bring new things, teach you new things. We learn new things together. Keep the relationship spicy. Keep the relationship going. Because once it gets dull, that's where comfortability and failure starts to seep in. So now, I don't know if I'm overthinking it, but at the end of the day, if it's like, and I'll use sexual manner, if it's like, all right, if I can't be the first for anything that I'm like, ooh, let's try this. Been there, done that. All right, let's try this. Already did it.
And you're not thinking just strictly sexual, right?
No.
All right, so let's flip that. Let's flip that on you. You are a world-renowned photographer, videographer. You are a passport bro. Girl goes, I want to go to the Swiss Alps. I've been there already, baby. Well, who'd you take? Miss America, 1939. Like, now, granted, that person is sitting there like, I can't have those experiences now with you.
But actually, the beautiful thing about it with me, a lot of my travels have been alone, by design.
So you're simply stating that that was an example, though, bro.
No, and I understand. But it is something that has come up in other people's, in our conversation with relationships. Totally where they're like, I want to go somewhere you haven't been. And I'm like, okay, I agree with you. But there's a difference of travel when you travel alone and when you travel with someone. It's two completely different experiences.
You're right. So my question to you is, you're saying, hey, I want to be the first to jump on that mountain and plant my flag. Mm-hmm. And you're saying it's more than sex. So when you're planting that flag, isn't that a gray line, like a blurred line, where it's like, you can't plant your flag. Like, those flags are always going. There's always going to be a flag planted somewhere.
Right.
So it's like, now, granted, I agree. Like, hey, you want to be a first at something. Give me the first something, right?
I can't be great. I can understand I'm not going to be it for everything.
Correct. So when you're sitting there like, damn, I'm the same way. Like, I will look at like, hey, you done this already? Like, no, like, certain things for me, because of my person, is like, there's certain things that I can't have a first with because you guys are from Florida. So there's beach things that you guys can do. Right. There's different things. It's not even have to be sexual. It's just certain things that you guys have done because of where you live and how the terrains are. Like, so when it comes to you, you're simply saying, I want to have this first somewhere. But wouldn't those experiences be the first nonetheless?
Together.
Yeah.
And that's what I mean. Okay, I see where you're going with it, but it also depends on what it is. It wouldn't be the same because, like, I don't know. I'm not a subconscious person.
Can you explain?
But I look at it as this. If you're saying, yes, you're experiencing it for the first time together. Mm-hmm. But if I turn around and say, okay, let's go to, I'm like, all right, I haven't been to Argentina.
Sure.
And she's like, oh, I went with such and such.
My ex or something.
But she's like, I'm so happy to go again. I'm not going to be thinking like, okay, Actually, I am going to be thinking.
You'll be like,
when you go booking everything, and it'll be like, was this the same hotel that you and that stayed at?
Yeah. Like, were you in this room before?
Was you over here? Was y'all kissing and doing everything up here?
Yeah, nah.
No, I don't want to do that.
But you don't think you would?
I don't. I don't have that mentality where I'm comparing it because I'm me. I know I'm different. But it may be something that we can do, and I guess I would have to ask a list. Give me all your list of the things you've done. It doesn't need to have to give me details.
Yeah.
Like if traveling is going to be our thing, give me the countries you've traveled to with your significant others. Mm-hmm. I'm going to leave that on the back end because as our relationship grows,
you want to have your own experiences first.
We'll have our own experiences, but the confidence of our relationship will withstand it at the end because we've already built everything.
That's smart. I mess with that. That's
way that when we get there, I'm not second guessing it because I'm solidified.
Because you already know you're good.
We're here.
Yeah.
But if I'm picking it the first hand up, we only been together like 6 months, and now we over here in Jamaica, and you was over here doing Hot Stella got her groove back. Yeah. No, and I know I don't look like that black nigga on the beach. And then you go back and he goes, oh, I remember you. What you mean you remember her?
Where's your friend?
Yeah.
It was your two buddies.
No, but that's what I'm saying. But now, if we go back to the sexual part, planting that flag, we have to find like the things that we can create the memories for ourselves.
I agree with that.
So that when we go and try, obviously I'm not going to be the first person in this cave. It's just, obviously.
You know what I hate, man, is what I don't do no more, and I'm like, we're older now, bro. I cannot like give a girl a song no more because once you do that, you're fucked. Like this is our song, baby. Like
dog. I ran out of songs, bro. My boo,
all my life. Kiss me through the phone. Like I ain't listening to this shit.
He used to give girls ringtones.
Yeah, right, man. What? You heard that song like.
What I tell you, it's so bad
because you can't do it.
I hear it now, and it's like even songs like "Beautiful," "Crazy Beautiful," like songs like country songs that I get assigned to a girl, and every time I hear it, I'm like I get a little flashback of her while I'm at dinner with somebody else, and I'm like, damn, I remember this song. It's wrong. That's why I don't assign these things no more. No. But either way, as we conclude and we circle back to the beginning, the moral of the story is. Don't date or mess around with women with condoms in their purse.
That's not the moral of the story.
The moral of the episode?
I think that is your opinion. My opinion is don't judge a book by its cover.
Well, how else do you pick up the book off the shelf?
You read the back.
Yeah, I wish sexual partner numbers were on people's foreheads. And that's for a whole other conversation.
I used to say this to my friend. Me and my homegirl used to be like, "Yo, what if someone had an STD and it'd be like the Sims, like little thing on their head turn red? Like, nope, stay away from them."
Yeah, but at least I know what I'm dealing with.
I think that would be super cool.
Hey,
that would be
and really with cool. The body count.
I don't know.
I think so. Here's the thing. I think if we had, and we'll end with this.
Wait, time out. I saved that thought. Here's why I got to stop that body count situation real quick. Mm-hmm. I'm gonna get dark and grim. Rape or sexually or trafficked, and they beat that life.
What you mean? That's an icebreaker.
The fuck is wrong with you? You're like, oh, she has over 300 bodies.
You just put an asterisk.
You see? This is why we can't have nice things. This is why we can't have the exclamation points on our heads.
Hey.